So why did Goldman Sachs buy 87 houses, an entire neighborhood, and then turn them into rental properties? Or why are people out looking for houses right now, but they seem that they can't find one because every single time a house comes up, a hedge fund comes in with a cash offer to beat them out? This may be one of those reasons. If you look at this chart here from 2012 to 2022, about a 10-year span, the average home price in the United States has almost doubled. It went from about $200,000 to about $400,000 in a 10-year period. It's an 8 to a 10% ROI just on the appreciation alone per year. And that doesn't include all the other benefits of owning real estate, like the depreciation, like the cash flow, like the tenant mortgage buy down, like the leverage. You can leverage your money into real estate. It doesn't include any of those things. That's just owning the properties in and of itself. So last night I did a deep dive into why these hedge funds are buying so many single family houses. And what I learned from diving into all these numbers actually blew me away. And these hedge funds aren't just buying these houses because real estate's created the most millionaires ever. It's way more in depth than that. So watch this. Let's say you go out and you buy one house, one single family house. Today it's worth roughly, let's say $165,000. In the Midwest, these houses are everywhere. So you buy a house for 165 grand. It appreciates at 2% per year over the next 25 years. That property will then be worth roughly $270,000. And you'll owe $0 on that property because the tenant's income, rent, would have paid your mortgage every month for the last 25 years. So you owe $0, it's now worth $270, and the cash flow that you would have made in profit over those 25 years, assuming a 2% per year increase in rent, which is not that much, 2% per year increase in rent, you would make roughly $142,000 in net profit after paying all of your expenses. So on one house over 25 years, you can make over $400,000 in profit on one house. And the amazing part is that you could have bought that house for less than $10,000 today. If you want to learn how you can do that after this video, make sure you finish watching this video, but check out this video here. I'll break down on how you can get into real estate for less than $10,000 today. So I really got to thinking about these funds, right? They're not just buying one house, right? They're probably buying hundreds and thousands of houses. So let's say that a fund and or yourself, which I know could potentially sound crazy, but you go out there and you buy 250 houses. I currently own about 100 houses right now. Let's say I get to 250 houses, or you get to 250 houses, right? What do those numbers actually turn out and look like? So we're gonna dive into my screen here, and I'm gonna show this spreadsheet to you exactly what I built last night and why this was so mind-blowing to me. Let's jump in. All right, so let's start here. So let's say each house is worth about $165,000 each. 165 times 250 houses is a value of the portfolio of $41,250,000. And if we use the appreciation of 2% per year, let's see what this portfolio turns into. So after just 1 year, they would have made $825,000 in appreciation alone. Second year, $841, third year, $858, fourth year, $875, because it keeps appreciating on the new value of the property. It's compounding, right? So after 25 years, that $41 million portfolio could be worth $67 million. Think about that. 67 million, that's assuming a 2% per year appreciation, which is very, very low. And the other beautiful thing about real estate, not only does the property go up in value, but you also pay down your mortgage every single month as well. So let's jump into what's called an amortization schedule, which breaks down every payment you make, how much the principal goes down, and how much of that payment actually goes to interest as well. So let's jump in and take a look. So the original balance, assuming a 75% collateralization, so it's worth 41 million, and then we take out a 75% mortgage on that. So almost $31 million is what would be owed on the property. So then let's assume a 5.5% interest rate, 25-year term. That means their monthly mortgage payment, just your principal and interest, not your taxes and insurance, your monthly mortgage payment is $190,000 a month. That's a lot of money, right? But you have 250 properties bringing in income to cover that, right? So first payment, $189,000. The interest is $141 grand. The principal is $48,000. So after 1 month, you pay off $48,000 of principal payments. After 2 months, you pay off almost $100,000 of principal. 3 months, 150, 4 months, 200 grand, et cetera, et cetera. So after this, let's say, these are by months, by the way. So let's say after 10 years, 120 months, you owed $31,000. You now owe $23 million. So $8 million just on making mortgage payments that your tenants are going to pay for you, right? So 25 years later, as you can see, your principal balance keeps going down and down and down and down. And after 25 years, you will owe $0 on the property. And again, the tenant's income is you're using that money to then pay for this mortgage. And then last thing here, before we dive into the actual numbers, right? So rent, let's say that rent goes up $25 a year, right? So these are gonna rent for roughly $1,300 a month. So let's say it just increases $25 a year, which is less than 2%, right? That means year one will be $100 in profit, quote unquote. This is like net profit after expenses, after mortgage, etc. Year two would be 125, year three would be 150, et cetera, et cetera. So year 25, because rent would have increased from, let's say, $1,300 a month to $2,000 a month, you'd be profiting roughly $700 a month on the 25th year, right? Because rent would increase and your mortgage payment would have stayed the same. So your mortgage payment stays the same, rent increases every year, so profit continues to increase every year. So here's where it gets wild, and bear with me, just go through these numbers. I know these are big numbers, but this is the reason people are buying up real estate left and right. So again, breaking down 250 single family houses, value of roughly $165,000 each. Total value of that portfolio is roughly $41 million on a 75% leverage debt on that portfolio to start with is $31 million, okay? So 2% appreciation per year, that's what we're gonna assume. Conservative cash flow, which is profit of only $100 a month per property. So after all expenses, you're only making $100 a month. Aggressive, we're not even gonna count that because that can get absolutely bananas. So as the rent increases by $25 a month, that's why this profit, monthly profit is going up. So, first year, you're gonna make 25 grand a month. By the 5th year, you'll be making 50 grand a month. 10th year, 81 grand a month. 15th year, 112 grand a month. 20th year, 143. 25th year, 175. So you're gonna be making a lot of money every single month, right? So year one, let's look at these numbers here. Break it down. So the value is 42 million, the debt's 30. So your equity day one is $11 million and your cash flow is 300 grand. So you're gonna make roughly $12 million on this portfolio after 1 year between cash flow and equity in the deal, right? Year 5, same thing. Let's take a look. Let's see what it is. So it appreciated in value, you paid down the debt, and you made more monthly cash flow. So now your profit is going to be roughly $20 million just after 5 years, right? And again, this is profit in the pocket, and this is equity within the deal. 10 years appreciates, tenants pay off the debt, $34 million in 10 years. 15 years. Appreciates in value, pays down the debt, makes cash flow, $52 million. You can see this is getting crazy right here. 20 years in, again, goes up in value, pays down in debt, and you make monthly cash flow. So now you only owe $10 million because you've been paying it every month. It's now worth $61 million, and you've made almost $23 million in cash flow, $75 million in total. Year 25, bam, there's the 9-figure number, $100 million. 25 years owning 250 rental properties. Portfolio values, almost 68 million. You owe $0. You made roughly $33 million in passive residual income. And the total between income and equity within the deal in 25 years is over $100 million. Think about that. That is absolutely bananas. $100 million. And again, 250 houses for the everyday person might be a lot, right? Is it possible? 100%. I already own 100. I will own 250 in the next few years, 100%. But hedge funds aren't just buying 250 houses. They're buying thousands and thousands and thousands of houses. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars is what these hedge funds are going to be looking at. And PS, by the way, this does not include any tax savings. This does not include any depreciation on the asset. If you own a portfolio like this, you will never pay taxes to the IRS ever again for the rest of your life, ever. It's not going to happen because you're going to have so much depreciation that you can take that you're never going to have to pay taxes. So what is my plan? And I kind of already mentioned this a little bit earlier, but my plan is to own 250 houses in the next couple of years. I already own 100. I will own 250 in the next few years, right? And my strategy is going to be this: get free houses. This is the BRRRR method: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. It's a book that I wrote, how to get free houses, how to build generational wealth using other people's money. Literally the same exact strategy I plan on doing to create $100 million in equity. If you want to grab a copy of this book, go to howtogetfreehouses.com. That's howtogetfreehouses.com. Get yourself a copy of this book. And 25 years from now, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20, 25 years from now, literally, once you do this, the first 1 to 5 years is gonna be a grind. You're gonna be grinding all day, every day. But after that, man, you're gonna be coasting for the rest of your life. So if you wanna see a video exactly how to do the strategy that I plan on doing, check out this video here. Get to howtogetfreehouses.com to grab yourself a copy. Appreciate you being here.